Hey, welcome to the show tonight. I know we got off a little late start. That don't matter. The show is coming at you live tonight. We have got Dreamstereo in the podcast, in the studio tonight. So let me introduce right here on, let me take it from the right of the screen, all right? Alex Esquivel right there, singer, and also vocal, singer and guitar player. And right there in the middle, low bass. Frequency technician. That's right, the low end frequency tech right there. Braxten right there in the middle. And then right here, right to the side of me, Ryan Soliz, drums and percussion. Yes, Dreamstereo in the house. Oh, yeah. Guys, if you don't mind, close that door for me real quick, all right? Yes, thanks so much for coming tonight.
Thank you for having us, dude.
Yes,
it's awesome.
Man, I've been having a good time going through the music, listening to the albums, checking out the videos, and really just enjoying all the heart and soul, the drive that you guys are putting out live.
Thank you.
You know, it's really impressive. Oh, yeah. I love the hustle. You know, I've got several bands myself, so I like to play just about every weekend if I can.
You know how it goes.
Yes, you guys are doing it, man. I love that. And you even got a big trip coming up in Wisconsin, right? Yes, not too long from now. So
Rockfest.
Rockfest is going to be amazing. Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit.
Nice. Okay.
But especially want to highlight on how busy you guys have been staying out there and taking any gig and really just putting the word out. And delivering the goods. You got that latest single that just came out in February, Sonder.
Yes, sir.
So really just getting out there, getting a good push. I've noticed on the Spotify, you got many songs that have got thousands of hits.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you guys have got a nice fan base that is growing. And it's because of all the drive, man. And because of the consistency and the longevity of the band. You know, I know I've been looking at the videos, so I've seen some different faces before. So I know that Alex is a founding member right now. And he's taken from the garage and brought it here. You know what I mean? So that's been really awesome. So let me know a little bit more about the garage. I know we talked about it before we got on camera, but now that we're on camera, it started in your garage, your ideas, and then where did we go from there, Alex?
It just really started when I was singing and playing guitar for several cover bands. Been doing that for years.
Covers, all right?
Yeah, covers. And I really liked it. It was fun playing 3-4 hour shows a night. You know how that goes.
Yes.
That's also a hustle in itself.
Yes.
But then there's also that little voice in your head that's like, hey, but what if you write a song? Or, hey, but what if, you know? So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to that. And I'm going to see where it goes. And I still kept playing and all that. And I started writing everything. The first work of Dreamstereo was done on an iPad. It was just, I didn't have nothing fancy. I didn't have no monitors. And I just the guy that wanted to get it done. Yeah. I just wanted to do it. And I just trial and error and eventually upgraded, got better stuff. Better players that wanted to stay, and I'm confident, man. We're here. Here we are with you.
Do you remember that song that you did on the iPad?
It was half of the first album.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Half of the first album. Dude.
That's it.
And the first album, I think that has 10 bangers on it.
Yeah.
10
bangers.
And the second one ended up doing another 9. So, but it's a little bit. It seemed like it was a little longer. Maybe the songs that are, just became having more depth. Yeah. And wow, so half of it was done on the pad.
Yeah,
that's
it was
really cool. So many ideas right there, and from then on, it just keeps growing.
Yeah. Eventually, I got a computer. Got a better setup, and also a matter of trial and error. Like I said, you start writing songs, and eventually, you start getting better at it. Yeah. Because the hard part, some of the things people don't really understand that listen to music but are not musicians themselves, is hearing it but being able to translate it into its own thing properly, because you might hear a banger in your head but then you can't really get it. It's hard to envision it and then actually get it get it done, and it takes a lot of work. But
so when you hear those kind of, I know, like me being more of a drummer, I'll hear some things that are going to be really guitar and drum kind of oriented, kind of like something you would hear like from Fear Factory.
Yeah. And I'll be like,
oh, I want to remember that. But so I went to Del Mar for a couple of years. So I learned how to write music and read music. So that was great. I learned a lot about theory.
Hell yeah.
So I can come back and at 30-second notes, boom, 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 write everything down so I can remember it for later.
Yeah.
Did you already have like a musical background that, you know, was able to facilitate all that?
Not really.
Self-taught.
Self-taught 100%. But I did grow up in a house full of guitars. I never went to school, but my dad himself was in several different bands, you know, stuff like that. So I remember being 5 years old, just plucking away, not knowing what I was doing.
What kind of music did he play?
Guns N' Roses.
No kidding.
Yeah,
he's a rocker.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
But he also leans more into which I think is part of the big influence of Dreamstereo itself. He leans a lot more into The Cure and Bono from, you know, YouTube, stuff like that. So that aspect of the 80s, the new wave as well, not just the hair metal, which is, but both are cool, but they're equally as important.
Of course, yes.
So that's cool. A lot of different dynamics in the band. I know he listens to a little bit of everything. I've been getting him a lot more into
stuff like that.
Yep.
A lot of punk, a lot of Iron Maiden, a lot of Metallica, a lot of stuff like that. I
Maiden,
implement all that stuff into it. Oh yeah, man.
You got Brax over here. You just gotta look at him, and you already know what he listens. You already know what he listens to.
I don't think there's anything that's good that he doesn't like.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm
not looking like freaking Dimebag over here.
Yeah, right. Yes, hell yes.
Well, actually, my influences started drifting away from the 80s stuff, and I like Periphery, Polyphia, Pliny, all the gym bands. I like the technical guitar work, and that's why whenever you listen to my personal stuff, the Braxten home studio stuff, it's all instrumental. I'm not the best lyricist in the world, but I make the guitar speak.
Nice.
And that's why I consider myself the low-end frequency technician, is because I'm not playing bass. I'm trying to bring in the sound, because we did have another guitar player, and so I have to be able to hone in that sound and fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love the mentality behind that, man. I love that. That's how you're making it work. And you know, before you got here, we were just talking about how you got the gig and how Alex told you, hey, the music's all online, check it out. We'll get together for rehearsal and we'll see how it goes. And then you showed up, he already knew everything. Yeah, he brought a bass thinking, hey, I might have to show him a thing or two, but you had it, dude.
Yeah,
I'm quick at it.
Talk about drive, talk about hustle. That's professionalism, and that's really wanting to get the job.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, and you get it done.
That's it.
And Ryan, how did you get your job in here?
I saw an ad on Facebook, and I was like, hey man, I'm willing to play, let's do this. And he was like, all right, here's these songs. I listened to them, and I was like, oh, I love these. And I just started practicing, and we met up, and he was like, oh my God, you're my drummer.
Yes.
I love you. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
How long have you been with him?
About a year.
Yeah, he's been in the band for a little over a year.
Yeah, about a year and 2 months or so.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm pushing about 6-7 months now.
Yeah.
Only 6-7 months?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Well, I was in a hiatus for a while. You know, I mean,
a little.
I know you heard about the Pale Horse Prophecy stuff. And doing that with RJ. But that ended up taking a turn on you know, personal life stuff. My mom ended up passing away, and that was my biggest fan. And so whenever she passed, I was just like, well, I don't know where to go from here, you know, because she's always like, oh, well, this sounds cool. Or you know, she's got her taste.
Yeah.
And the last band that I was with, she was like, this guy's killing your career. You need to quit. And so literally right after that, I quit, and then she ended up passing away. So I was like, you know, it kind of hit me in the heart.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So, hey,
but way to bounce
She's
back.
with us, man. She's with us.
She's always with us.
She is with you. That's right, dude. Definitely. I know she feels the good vibes that you're getting from being with Alex and Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, I see the footage of you guys playing on stage, and I see your presence on stage.
Oh, the strongest.
I'm telling you, yes, man.
I'm busy trying to, you know, not mess up on my guitar and
double
stuff.
duty.
This dude is animal on the fucking drums. But then you got this guy over there with that hair is already long, but when he's on stage, it gets down here. Just fucking swinging it around.
Yes, bro. And I love the axe. What's the model?
It's a Dean.
But it's custom painted, so it's a 1 of 1.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Badass.
Whoa, badass. But I'm trying to think of the model because it's like his.
It's like that
it's a
Dimebag shape,
it's a
ain't
Dean
it?
Explorer
Yeah,
before the lawsuit.
Explorer.
Before the lawsuit, for sure.
Oh,
So,
yes.
You know, I had to.
I've always been a big fan of his when I saw his. Like, yes, and that's from here in Corpus.
I got plenty of guitars that look just like it. Like I got the Hard Luck, the Lady Luck stuff. I have a couple of the LTDs, the EX, the
cool.
250s and stuff like that. Top-notch guitars. I love them. But I've always, I had a green Explorer. I don't know if you remember, but it was a custom Gibson, and that thing took a dive off of my amp one day.
No!
Headstock
like
gone.
a good Gibson, it'll break the headstock.
Yeah.
Right off.
Wow. So a pretty big guitar collection of you own?
About 14.
Wow. And now?
Right now.
Me, I've had, currently I only own 3.
Yes.
Is one of them a Jackson?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one of my mains.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what it is.
Right.
I've had, like I said, I've been playing for like 15, 20 years, man. I've had hundreds of guitars. That's also part of the fun for me. Grabbing something, playing it, trading it, getting a new toy, because they're expensive, so I can't afford to have 20 at a time.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll get something, use it, play it, get something else. I try to trade up.
Yeah.
And I've narrowed down to what I really like. I've noticed that like my Jackson Soloist and a PRS that actually Jay got me. It was a birthday present, a surprise birthday present.
Wow.
And man, those things are just. I pick up other stuff at Guitar Center, and I'm like, "Hey, this is cool, but I want my guitar."
Yes, that's your
those
baby.
are my babies.
Yes. And Ryan, what are you playing on?
Tell them, dude. Tell them what you're writing on.
So right now I'm playing a Yamaha Stage Custom, but I'm getting an endorsement with SJC Custom Drums. I got a really sick custom drum set coming my way in about May, June.
Pearl red.
It's like a pearl red, dude.
Oh, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Sexy, dude.
That is so huge.
Oh, yeah.
That's so huge, bro.
Your stadium ready, boy.
Oh, yeah.
It will be.
How we just gonna get there?
Good. You're paying your dues. You're paying your dues.
Oh, yeah.
You're making it happen.
Oh, yeah.
So proud of you guys, man.
Thanks, man.
So, who came up with the name? Was it someone else?
I think it was me.
Okay, all right.
It's like a couple of years old.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you sit down and write down a bunch of stuff. I had stereo dreaming. And I showed it to the guys at the time, and they were like, "That's cool. It seems a little bit hard though to like roll off the tongue." I was like, "You know what? Hold up. I want to keep the words.
Yeah.
Maybe switch them around. Dream stereo. Oh, that's even better.
Sounds even better.
So then that's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
I like that.
And the awesome thing is that it's a one of one as well. Like there's a few like small companies, but you're not gonna find a Dream Stereo anywhere else.
That's it.
That's what really drew me towards it, and I was like, "You got something. You got something."
Definitely, man. Awesome. So, I really enjoyed listening to Last Station. That came out just last year.
Yeah,
right?
Last summer, I believe.
Last summer,
yeah.
Man. It's so great to listen to. Great songs on there. So some of my standout songs right there. Let me give a shout out. Walk Alone, Fever Dream, Spanish Cold really has stands on its own. It's got some great parts to it. The middle part really has a driving part. Hear a lot of you on or a lot of the bass line going and who recorded? Let's give him some credit. Who recorded that one?
That album I did. I recorded it, but it's us though.
Yeah.
But it's everything you hear out there, anywhere from the first recording to Sonder, is done at my house.
Nice.
Obviously, I would be open to going to an actual studio, but as of right now, we haven't felt the need to get there yet. We're making it work.
You're getting it done.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of my questions. What studio did you go to?
At home.
Way to go.
Work with what you got and do it the best way you can.
Sounds good.
Because ideally, it could sound better. It could always sound better, you know.
It can always sound
better. At the same time, it's like, do I want to spend the $700 on a song, or do I want to put that towards promo? Maybe, work the socials.
These are smart decisions to make. Yeah. And a hard decision sometimes, but hey, you've executed properly. You got the music out there. Thanks. A lot of people have been listening to it, enjoying it, getting a lot of monthly followers.
Thank you.
You're making all the right moves.
And the thing about those songs is that whenever we play them live, we play them different than we do on the record.
That's the cherry on top.
Wow.
You listen to the record and you're like, oh, this is a vibe, this is cool.
Mhm.
And then you hear us live and it's like,
Whoa.
shit, this is actually
jam,
it-
right?
it's
Like,
a
whoa.
tad bit heavier, definitely faster. It's just energy.
You get the live
It's
feel.
just
You
energy.
kind of pick
man.
it up a couple of hairs.
Oh,
Yeah,
should I say
man.
maybe?
oh yeah.
And there will be people that'll tell us like, bro, like y'all's live experience is so freaking awesome. Like people love it, man. They just love it. You know?
That's where you got to do it.
Yeah.
That's why you're turning heads and making a lot of people notice.
Yeah.
Live is where it's at right there.
Oh yeah.
Way to
man.
go. But it's all driven really a lot by you as well.
I
you
mean,
know,
it's-
of course, the three of y'all are killing it up on stage, but you know, lyrically, the way you're able to put it out there, you're hitting some great notes, hitting some good melodies.
Thanks, man.
Like,
Thank
wow.
you.
The more I hear
appreciate
it, the more I really like. You make it seem very easy for yourself,
Thank
but you found
Thank
you found a good niche
Yeah,
to be able to execute,
yeah.
you know, live, and I'm hearing it live, and it's like, wow, sounds really good.
I
really
appreciate
good.
it, man. Thank you.
So alongside that, Hesitate, the opening track, is also a great banger, and Fade Away is another memorable song right there.
Thank you.
And those are just, you know, it's a solid album. It's a solid album, but those ones I really enjoyed to listen to, and they kind of stick with me, you know. You do all the lyrics?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we the way it works, we've tried every band is different, every lineup is different.
Yeah.
We've discovered that with this lineup that we have, we come up with the jam, record it, track it, and then I have to isolate myself and listen to it 20 times by myself with pen, paper, and I'll get it done.
Yeah, whatever.
I just have to forget about the world for a week,
Yeah.
and then it's ready to go.
Okay.
That's just how it goes. Yeah, we've tried writing together as a band. There's so many different influences and dynamics that it doesn't really fit the concept that we're going for. So we figured write the music. Usually starts out with a riff
Yeah.
that kind of sets the mood of the song.
Uh-huh.
Ryan lays down a solid ass beat,
Yeah.
you know, freaking animal.
Yes.
And then Braxten is always like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna make it better. And then just fucking, all right,
Yeah.
gets down to business, and now I got something to work with and sing over. You know, we
That's
got
a
the
good
formula.
formula.
Yeah.
That's a good formula.
We found it and it's been working.
Yeah.
We'd like to keep exploring it.
You know, it's funny how you mentioned how other bands, everybody has their own way of writing the music.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the Metallica Some Kind of Monster video. And
Yes.
at that stage, they were all pitching in ideas. You had Kirk writing this song and writing all that. And in my opinion, I was thinking, no. Let's stick with fucking James and Lars. That's what always made
That's
it
what
all
worked.
work.
That's what worked.
And so, yeah, some Kind of Monster wasn't my favorite. Or for Saint Anger wasn't my favorite, but it had some bangers on it, of
Oh
course.
yeah, frantic.
Yeah,
Some Kind of
dude,
Monster.
Some Kind of Monster.
Yeah,
Killer,
you know,
Big
With
hooks.
the influence of Bob Rock, of course.
Yes, I
Oh,
hooking it
yeah,
on
dude.
bass. Yeah, and I love Bob. Bob brought, he really made Metallica not only the
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
band in America, but the biggest band in the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Absolutely.
bam.
Oh,
when they
yeah.
dropped the
They
Black
set
album.
the bar.
Yeah.
Set the bar for sure.
And that was like that album that every metal band would love to be able to put out. But it'll never happen again. They'll
Right
never
time, right
spend a
place.
year in the studio like they did recording those albums and being able to invest that kind of time, because nowadays they just want to put it out. And I think artists, we kind of want to put it out. Even if it's just a
Absolutely.
single at a time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know, it's like fucking
Well, I
proud
think
of
it's
this.
also why, like, it's also like cool and okay that we're a new wave concept,
Yeah.
but he's naturally what drives him is metal, and he has his own thing going on, and that's really badass. Because like you pitch in, because if you can do something you like and you feel inspired by it and you let it out,
Yes.
then you're already in the right mood to come back to Dreamstereo and be like, all right, guys, let's get it done.
Yeah.
As
Beast
opposed,
coming in
yeah, as
beast mode
opposed to
like
just
that.
wanting to do metal and not really, just
Yeah.
why not both?
I think metal brings a lot of the energy.
Exactly.
And he just delivers that with you guys. And
Absolutely.
on stage. Just getting down, man. I love it.
Hell yeah.
That's what I want. I love performances. That's one thing I love to do. I figure you gotta lose yourself out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You lose it,
Yes.
and you have the most fun.
Yeah,
the most fun.
absolutely.
You just gotta know your music first before you can lose it out there.
Yeah. Sure.
Or else it could be a train wreck.
Mhm.
So, I also want to talk about how far have you been able to go out on tour? Because I know you've already done a lot of shows on the road.
30 hours.
Really? 30 hours out.
We
Ouch.
went all the way up to
Yeah.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We
Oh,
played a
shit.
festival up there. We did a music conference. We did a podcast interview, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We but was
That's
about
awesome.
what? It was about 25 hours, but we stopped. You know,
Oh, yeah,
like,
sure.
got food and business stuff.
You're
So
like,
it came out to like 30 hours one way.
Uh-huh.
That was a 60-hour trip. But
Was it the three of y'all?
No,
that was
was
right
before.
before he joined.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was
right
me,
before.
Ryan, and we were still a four-piece
Okay.
back then.
Yeah.
So that was getting to Pennsylvania. And then the three of y'all went to Nashville?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was my first time to Nashville. And
Twice, right? You've been to both
Yeah.
times in Nashville.
Last year we sold out both shows.
Oh,
Actually,
shit.
there was almost three, right?
There was- yeah.
We couldn't confirm the third one, but nonetheless, it helped us get the next gigs whenever we went last time.
Yeah.
So it was a hell of an experience for my first time in Nashville, and I absolutely loved it.
Wow.
That's great.
Most of the people, they consider it close to Austin or similar in style and
Sixth
stuff
Street.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I'll tell you right now that whole Broadway is like the red light district of cover bands. Like you're not allowed to play originals, and all
Yeah.
the bands that are there are usually locals. And they got a weird rule where you can only play once a month if you're from Nashville or within a 50
You been
mile
to
radius.
Nashville?
No, I wanted to go.
Hey, man,
That's why I
it's
want to go on
basically
vacation
like-
this year.
It's a room like this one,
Yeah.
and there's a band playing on stage, and the only thing, there's 30 bars. The
30,
only thing
yeah.
dividing them is one wall.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
playing
you
right
got
here,
windows,
and
people
right next
coming
in
down.
the next room is another band playing,
Yeah.
and then another band, then another band.
All down the street.
And the thing about it is, you just walk around, hop in and out, a
Mhm.
drink or two,
Enjoy
different bands. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, it really is the city of music. It's
Yeah.
cool. It is mainly country though.
Yes.
So one
I
thing,
can
one
dig- I
thing
can
that
dig
we
it.
did get a lot though was a lot of the, you
Why
know,
do you look
the-
like that?
why are you wearing
Yeah.
why are you wearing a Metallica shirt? And then the younger crowd was like, hey, we don't really see that a whole lot. That's cool, you know, keep it up.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
were definitely slightly out of concept, but I think that made us stand out in a way.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
It
was
is
cool.
cool, man. Getting out there and where the music's happening.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
you can't go and change your style or try and cater. You know, that's the thing about the lineups that I've seen you guys play with Bills locally. It's with anybody and everybody. You know what I mean? Because you guys hold your own,
Yeah.
and you bring the energy. And so it doesn't matter if it's another rock band or a reggae band or a metal band. Everything grooves.
Like
Yeah,
we like
everything
playing
grooves.
with the guys from Exodus or the guys from Identity Crisis, Razcat. all
Here in
those
Corpus.
guys.
All of these
Shout
Corp-
out to those
Hey,
guys.
man,
Yeah.
Identity
Corpus,
Crisis,
Corpus gets,
Razcat,
bands
Excess.
are important, of course. Everybody that we just mentioned, but also the people that come out to the shows.
Yeah.
Oh,
shout
the
out
supporters.
to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corpus
Y'all are real.
gets down, dude. Because trust me, we've played all over Texas, and it's cool. Austin is awesome, but the energy that we feel from the crowd,
Yeah.
nothing like Corpus.
Yeah,
Nothing like
nothing
Corpus.
Nothing like Corpus.
Special. I love it. I love it. I'm looking over here, and it looks like we might have some comments. So let me give some comment love to the people that are checking us out. Okay, let's see. Les Dykes says I can see the Kill 'Em More logo. Okay, all right. Thanks, Les. And we see
What do we got? Where?
Como Matt. We got Fire. Tony, thanks for tuning in tonight. Excess in the house. What's up, you guys in Excess? Tony, another, he says hi.
Which Tony is that?
Guest radio. Garcia Guerra? Garcia Guerra? I hope I pronounced that right. The guys from Fallen Fears. What's up, guys?
Hey,
What's
what
up?
I just played with those guys over at the Artisan.
At the Artisan. Yeah. That was a cool
Oh,
show.
it's a nice new place that just opened up, right?
Yeah, outdoors, man. in
And
between
Roland,
two
what's up?
buildings. Cool.
Outdoors, really?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's on the back patio. It's like in between two buildings, but they laid out fake grass and a
Yeah.
pretty big stage.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
Everybody's been climbing it like a
Yeah.
90s Eddie Vedder, you know?
That's
Hell
badass.
yeah, it's good for the
Oh,
pictures.
shit. I bet you do that.
Hey, if I could, I would.
Someone's got to hold it down.
Yeah.
Still. Yes, I get it. Yes. I love it. All right. So also, Sonder, that's the latest release on this one. Really great track. Really great track. This was in February.
Yeah.
So did you record everything yourself?
Yes.
Okay, man. All right. It's an easy way of getting things done.
Oh, yeah.
I've been able to record over there lately with my band Warcold. Been going to Precision Studio.
Nice.
And I know as a guitar player, putting myself in Brandon, shout out Brandon, our guitar player and lead guitarist.
Brandon.
Dave's doing all the rhythm and all that stuff. So Brandon just needs to do the solo.
Yeah.
And it's a done deal.
That's it.
And really, I love that everybody just is very cooperative and, you know, it just goes with the flow. Because the flow it gets things done in the studio, and especially like you mentioned with $500-600 of a record. So you gotta be smart with your time and also, you know, not waste your time. So it's a good thing, but I don't have, like I mentioned earlier to you, this may be a nice. Thank you, Daniel Adame. Shout out Daniel Adame Productions. This is a badass fucking mixer, but I don't have the technical savvy to be able to run it. You know what I mean? So I don't do our own recordings. So I have to go to somebody else. Luckily, he's already got it down. So you don't have to fuck around with anything else. You can go to other things and put your money where it needs to be.
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's what I want to talk about as well. So I got to talk about the big gig coming up in Wisconsin. Over at the Rock Fest.
Rob Zombie, Slaughter to Prevail, Attila, Architects.
Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson's the next day.
On that day, right? Yes, that's a huge day.
Oh, man.
Was that Thursday, Friday?
It's a Thursday, and we are playing 3 sets.
What?
That's why it's not. We're not
bad.
just opening up for Rob Zombie, and it's not like a tandem set. We're not playing when somebody else is playing. We're opening up for all of these bands. And whenever these guys aren't playing, they're coming over to us and checking us out. So the thing is that it's a really big gig, and a shout out to, you know, everybody that put their hard works in. You know, these guys 100%.
Oh, yeah,
but
man.
I really feel like I'm the most pumped about this thing because I've been listening to Rob Zombie since I was like, you know, this tall.
Oh yeah,
oh, my
right.
Gosh. And
well, and playing with them is cool, but also as performers, getting the backstage, the catering, you get to dine in with, you know. Definitely. I mean, playing with them is cool, but talking to them is better.
It's a huge special. Like we were noticing my picture up here playing the Sound of the Underground, and to date, that's been my biggest gig, and it was the best day of my metal career. Because we were at the trailers, everything was just great. Backstage, seeing everybody playing, and having them come see us too, and saying, "Hey, you guys are good, man." It was top of the world,
of course.
So
I got to give you some props for.
It's great, man.
Man,
it's been nothing but a great ride, and that's why we do it. And that's why Alex is keeping this bad boy alive, because he knows that he's got a great thing going along. And with you guys right by his side, Dreamstereo is just gonna keep rising. Just gonna keep rising.
That's the thing, man. I can't. I say it to them all the time, and I feel like I don't say it enough. I might have started it, but it's not a me show, and it doesn't end with me. It really does take the 3 of us to really make it alive.
That live show.
So these guys are in it for the long haul, and I couldn't be any more happy. You know,
that's great, man.
I found my players. You know how it goes. Band to band, different projects, cool stuff. You know, side gigs, all that. But when you really find the people that all right, now we got it. Then
you know it. There's a feeling. Trying to get my last original band, Warcold, together was the hardest thing. I had to go through it.
Can't force it.
It made it seem like Killamore and Integrity that I had 10 years in with each band. It made it seem like it was easy.
Yeah.
But it's because the right time, the right players, it worked out. But in Warcold, it seemed like, you know, I had to leave a band with the guitar player because we just couldn't agree on the name. You know, it's like, fuck, we can't agree on the name. We're not going to agree on a lot of other shit, too. You know what I mean? So we might as well just call it quits. So before you know it, me and Dave end up hooking up with some other guys, and one thing leads to another, and now we got the right guys in the mix, and now we jam. It's like, dude, we got it.
Flawless.
You know what I mean? So, you know, problems are going to come up for band members. There's going to be highs and lows, but I've always told my guys, I said, you know what, when you find somebody you want to jam with, you work with their schedule. You work with their ups and their downs, because eventually things are going to work out and you're going to be back where you need to, making that music.
Exactly.
And with all of the magic that guy can bring.
And that trust me, we've experienced that. We've only, with this line, I mean, Dreamstereo itself has only been a thing, not even 2 years. I mean, it's fairly new.
Yeah.
We've been staying two albums in a year and a half to me is like, all right, we got to get to work.
Busy.
But with that in mind, Mr. Braxten himself he moved down to Victoria to really lock in, because that's where I live. He lives in Corpus, but found a better opportunity to come back to Corpus. So it's been a lot of changes, but none of that really taps into the productivity of the band. Like at the end of the day, it's still a priority. It doesn't matter, you know, as long, the way I like to see it is like, build the trust, drop the ego. You'll be all right, you know, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, man, exactly.
I've heard a lot of things throughout my times playing with many different bands. And there's a lot of things I've heard about myself, unfortunately. And after going through quite some personality changes, I've dropped whatever ego that I did have. And I've humbled myself. I work my ass off. And then whenever I get home, I want to jam. I do, you know, HVAC. So I'm in an attic all day. I just, you know, dusted off all the freaking fiberglass from my last job.
That's what I was saying. Yes, bro.
So whenever we get together, I want it to be as fun as possible. And it's one of the greatest passions that I've ever had in my entire life since I was 4 years old. And I've been playing for 20 years. And I finally found some guys that, you know, aren't just drug addicts or drunks or, you know, just want to play the music to inflate their head. Yeah. And that's what I see a lot with a lot of bands, and that's why they start going downhill, because everybody's in their own head. With us together, we put our minds together, and that's where the product comes from. And
it's powerful.
That's why I enjoy playing with these guys, because we don't let ourselves get in the way of each other. No, not at all. And you know, we've had some higher up people tell us, you know, how we should be running our band. I'm not going to drop any names yet, but they are very high up in the music industry. And with that bit of information and advice, we put it towards whatever we can with the drive of the band.
Yeah. We've been lucky to have met the right people at the right time for advice, more than anything. I mean, because the reality is nowadays there is 100,000 songs getting uploaded onto Spotify every day. Everybody records from home. You know, studios are unfortunately going out of business, and now everybody that owns a computer can do it. So it's just, you no longer just play shows. Now you have to be an influencer. Now you have to also promote it, content, this and that. And that's such a needed beast that I despise.
I get it. Yes, I despise it too. Yes.
If the numbers are there, you know, you will open up better doors. You know, the road will open up slightly. So I think that's for the future of the near future of the band, is continue to play, of course, but maybe be just a little bit more selective on what we play, because instead of spending 100% of time and energy into just playing, now we also got to sit back and be like, okay, we've played all over Texas. We've actually been lucky enough to play nationwide. We know what that's like. Now we need to grow our following. Yeah, now we need to bump the streams up even more, you know? Now we got to get, so that when we do play venues, we can land maybe bigger venues, or maybe we can go on tour with the bigger band as opening act.
Right.
You know, just put in the work, and we've played for empty rooms. You know, there's no shame in that. We've played at bars. You know, we've done all that. It's
the also slat in somebody's backyard.
Or you play your set for the band that went right before you, because at that point everybody already went home. And there's no shame in that. I mean, shit, it's like a paid rehearsal. You know, you're plugged in, just have fun.
That's right. Yes.
But at the same time, don't lose the vision. You know, also just
don't cancel as well either. It's like, you know what, we're not gonna play it because, you know, nobody's here.
Exactly.
You keep the obligation. You fulfill your word. And you take care of business.
That's it.
Yeah,
as
man.
professionally as possible.
There you
Oh
go.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I'm sorry that we ran a little late, but like I said, I had to dust all the fiberglass
No,
off.
much respect. I know how it is. Hey, we're trying to figure out how we don't have to work a day job.
That's
Oh,
it,
you know
man.
what I
That's
mean?
it.
That's the
Right?
dream.
But in the
Yeah.
meantime, we work hard, but we play harder.
That's it. I
You know,
sell feed
shit.
pics. I don't give a fuck.
If you gotta work 2 jobs, whatever it takes. You know, shit. So, Ryan, let me get started with you. Tell me what got you inspired to be on the kit, be a drummer.
Nico McBrain.
Nico.
Nico,
Oh, now he's
man.
out of the game.
I know. What the heck?
Right.
Man?
Shit. I love Nico.
Take
And
another
he-
shot. Take another shot.
When I first heard him on Flight of Icarus, on War Eagles Dare,
Oh,
because the
oh
first
my
track
God.
on Peace of Mind,
Yeah,
ooh,
dude.
like, oh shit, because
That
Clive Burr was a
feel
shit.
Awesome.
And then he came in there, and Peace of Mind is like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But Power Slave has a real big ones. They have the real big bad ones on there.
Yes.
Rhyme and Ancient Mariner, Power
Oh,
Slave,
that's my favorite.
and then a couple of the first 2 opening tracks.
Mhm.
But Nico, huh?
Yes, Nico.
Have you seen him?
Sadly,
Have you
no.
seen? No, you didn't get a chance
I've
to
never
catch
seen
him.
it. I know.
Oh,
I'm so upset about it.
I've seen maybe 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
awesome.
luckily,
Hell yeah.
Great drummer. But Maiden's just one of those bands where it's like going to see Rush.
Yeah.
It's a religious musical experience.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows the words, and
Oh,
everyone's
yeah.
singing along. And,
Everyone's singing along to the guitarist and stuff.
oh, the car,
Oh,
yes, bro. It's like Black Sabbath or Ozzy.
Yeah.
You know where I'm coming from. So, and y'all are gonna see some of that love when y'all are in Wisconsin.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Hanging out, you're gonna be seeing a lot of that big love like that.
Oh, yeah.
And man, enjoy it. Soak it up, because the hard work does pay off.
Oh, yeah.
All those bands that are up there playing, they've already got at least 10 years under their belt. At least 10.
That's it.
And it's been a hard 10 years. And bands like Five Finger Death Punch,
Oh, man.
like Moody, he's had his ups and downs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the road to stardom has a lot of isn't always cool.
Yeah,
And
it's not
you
always a
have
straight
some
line.
beasts
It's
you
a
gotta battle with.
sacrifice. It really is a
Yeah.
sacrifice. Sometimes you lose money when you play.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
pay food, gas, and everything for a 30-minute set,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to play the set.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
people that wish they could play the set. So
That's
come
what
on.
we got to appreciate.
So
Exactly.
come on.
I'm glad you took
Yeah.
that angle right there. Well, Braxton, how about you? You also play guitar.
I
But
play everything.
You
brother.
play everything. So what actually got you into your favorite instrument? And what's your favorite?
Well, it started off with this little purple plastic guitar that my grandmother got me at 4 years old.
Oh,
I
yeah.
started
Right.
fucking around, and then I don't think I picked up another instrument until I was about 12, 13, where Andrew's influence started really taking a hold of me, and I actually picked up
Okay.
bass first. And my influence there, Cliff, Jason, all the badass guys. You can't forget Primus.
Oh, Les.
Any
Yes.
any freaking badass bassist that you could think of, I was trying to imitate that.
Yeah.
And then after a while, my mom was like, "You need to cut that racket off, play guitar." I was like, "Okay." So I started shredding on guitar, listening to James and Kirk and Dave and everybody else that you could think of. And then drums came along because I couldn't find anybody else to record music with. So at about 16, I started really pounding on the skins, really putting it to it. And I would watch the guys from Job for a Cowboy and all the more heavy metal guys where they were doing the metalcore and all the crazy stuff. I was like, all right, well, I want to do that. And then I would watch Homeboy from Tool, and I'm like, oh, dude, that freaking sounds sick. I'm gonna
Danny?
incorporate that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Danny Carey. Oh my god, such a and
Beast.
Neil Peart.
Yes.
Real
My,
And Neil,
my pops
the
took me to my
professor.
first Rush concert in 2012, and I was like, blown,
Blown
mind blown.
away.
Oh my gosh.
What a great show. Oh,
And
that's
so-
awesome.
At about 18, I started recording my own music. Started learning how to use the DAWs, how to use the audio interfaces and everything. And
Wow.
from there, I started trying to find a band to do stuff with, but nobody really wanted to jam with me because I was like, hey, I already wrote all this music and here you go. And they're like, no, we're good. So I just continued on that and then started doing the cover band stuff. And then, everything that led up to here is, quite a journey. And after about 25 years of playing music all together, it's just, and I'm not even 30 years old yet.
Not even 30.
Not
right?
even 30.
What a ride it's been already for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. And now you guys are riding it together.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, man.
Fucking killer. So, Alex, and was it being around the house, around your dad? Did he get you inspired, or was it something else? Maybe a particular musician?
I mean, if I'm being totally honest with you, being 6 years old and watching the solo for November Rain, I was like, I want to do that.
What is he, Slashes in the Desert or something
yeah,
like that?
in front of a church.
In front of the church.
Oh, man, that's sick. It's iconic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I rode that wave until I was like maybe 12, 13.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's great. What else was in the 80s? You know, what else was there? You know, that little itch of always wanting more.
Yeah.
And then I started tapping into new wave. You know, I was like, oh, this is the other side of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you got The Cure, The Smiths, you know, Joy Division, you know, all of those bands. I'm like, simpler, but more
musically dynamic.
Yeah,
for
musically
sure.
dynamic. Yeah, U2, the Pitch Mode, all of those guys. And I was like, this is what I was missing.
Yeah.
And not comparing, but you need both.
Exactly.
You know, you need both.
Yes. I mean, hell, I don't. As much as I play like heavy music, I don't always hear heavy music.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's what you like. It's what you can do well, or vice versa. You know
and
what I mean?
I think that that's the best way I can describe Dreamstereo Live is on the record. We of course try to fit a concept. We are a new wave post-punk band, so we stick to that. But when you hear us live, inevitably, we come across as harder and punchier because I do like the other side of the 80s.
Yeah.
And on record, I can really nail down my tone and take the right take and all that and fit the concept. But when you play live, you only get to do it once. You only play.
Right.
So then that's when it really bleeds out. That it's more than just that. That it's also punk. It's the energy's there.
Right.
So then the metal comes through, you know, the hair, all that, riot hitting on them skins. That's the stuff that you don't get.
Going up a little bit,
you don't really get that on the record. But then you hear us live and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I see it now, you know? That's what it is.
That's what it is. Yes. Love the live experience. Hell yeah. So let me get back to you, Ryan. What was your first concert?
My first concert. Ooh. I think Papa Roach.
Papa Roach at the Pavilion
at Concrete Street.
Concrete Street.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Man,
that was
shout out to Kobe. That guy's got a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I love guys with energy, and he's one that's just like wow, and he sings his ass off. Got a lot of great hits.
Oh yeah.
He's one that's very diverse.
Oh yeah.
He's done a little bit of everything. It seems like he's got his own computer home studio going on where he just experiments with
at least at this point.
Yeah, you know, so I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
That was it, huh? Papa Roach. That's a good one.
With Nothing More and I always forget about that other band.
San Antonio's Nothing More.
Yeah, San Antonio, Nothing More. Hell yeah, man.
That singer's hit some good notes too. He's
some
fucking highs.
Oh my god,
great rock
He's
band.
like really high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good show right there.
Oh yeah.
Braxten, what was your first concert?
Yes.
Rob Zombie?
I wish.
White Zombie. No, wrong way. Metallica?
I wish I would have seen Metallica at some point, but
Pantera.
I got to see Hell Yeah at Gigantour.
I forget how old I am when I told these bands out there. You know what I mean? Jesus. So when you said Hell Yeah, I was like, oh, of course, that's right. I'm 54, so you know I've seen.
More props to you because I see your wall of stuff.
Oh man, it's been a lot. It's been a great ride. You know what I mean? But we're on that ride, and there's so many great bands that we're able to enjoy along the way as well.
Actually,
tell me who it was.
What was the other band that Cold Chamber guy went to? Devil Driver.
Oh, Devil Driver.
Devil Driver, 2 Cent, and Danzig.
Oh, I remember that one.
Danzig is
yeah,
dude.
Oh, yeah,
that was a hard show, dude. Yeah.
My pops was just like, you got to get to the front. That's the only goal in life is get to the front. So he held on to somebody and then pulled himself forward. And I'm like, okay, we're here. Oh, my God, it's so tight. I remember I had bruises on my ribs from the night.
Yeah.
You know, oh, my gosh. It was such a good show. Of course, you know, my pops were just like, man, dude, they used to come up from the ground and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, dude, this is my first show. Come on, man. I'll see it on YouTube at some point.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And Alex, what was your first concert?
Well, I didn't come to the States until I was 16. I was born here, but I wasn't even a year old when I grew up in Mexico.
Okay.
So then it must have been down there. I think it was Bon Jovi in Mexico City.
Oh shit, Bon
Yeah,
Jovi.
I think I was like 12. Something like
Yeah.
that.
I don't think
I
we
knew
saw
one or
that.
two songs, but I already knew.
Hopefully Richie was still with him.
I think so. I
Probably.
think so. But that's when I really discovered that, like, even if I don't know the music, just listen. I mean, listening to the kick drum and feeling it in your chest when you play live, I was like, I don't care. I don't know this song. I fucking love it. It feels good. Yeah, it feels good.
Yes.
Physically feels good.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, I play guitar in my room, but now I also want to do that.
No,
You know?
I want to do that.
Yeah,
yes.
I want to do that.
My first concert was Kiss in 1979.
Oh,
the last tour I did with the Makeup Dynasty. I love telling the story because my aunts took me on the C101 party bus. They had a party bus back then. C101 had balls, man.
Yeah.
And so it was the three of us, and the whole bus was full of party animals, drinking, smoking, snorting. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
But you know, it was the first time I ever seen anything like that. But also I know we showed up at, I guess it was not the Frank Irwin. It was there in San Antonio. Maybe it was the Joe Freeman. But Gene Simmons fucking blowing the fire, spitting out the blood, the bass solo. I wanted to be like him. And I was already a big Kiss fan. But when I saw him live, I was like, oh,
it
God,
changed everything.
I'll do anything to be like him. Look at all these, man, this is great. Look at this shit. And so ever since then, I always wanted to be like Gene. And that's why, like, in Integrity, I was painting my face, you know, because I wanted to have that, I wanted to, you know, show love to my idol.
Get it in there.
Nice, man.
So, and I did that for over 10 years. Every show was a different mask. And it was like putting war paint on.
Exactly.
Nice.
But it all comes from somewhere. So props to Kiss.
Oh,
I love
absolutely.
Kiss, man. Fuck yeah.
They also kind of pushed Rush to success.
Oh, yeah,
they
with that tour.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I heard I can't remember which show it was, but they were on tour with them, and they were like, "Hey, y'all guys want to come party, hang out with us?"
Yeah,
all
they
these
were
girls
kids,
and
man.
stuff
Rush
like
was
that,
kids.
and they're sitting in their room reading books. They're like, "No, we're good." They're like, "Oh my god, yeah," you know. You know, different sides of the spectrum.
That's right.
Great music.
And
either
I
way.
think that's another aspect of music we haven't really talked about. That right now we're in a position where we're growing, right?
Yeah.
And the vision is to get big. So we are putting in the work and paying our dues because we're hoping that through ourselves we get to where we need to go. But also we're also open to a bigger band being like, hey, you guys are dope. Come on.
Yes.
Because I want to get to a point where Dreamstereo is at the point where we may see a smaller band that really is serious about it. I would have no issue being like, I was there once. Come on, guys. You know, it's a chain.
Yes.
Pass it down. Pass it down.
Pass it down.
Why the ego, dude? We're all trying to get there.
That's right.
We're all trying to get
And if
there.
we're good, let's do it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we're playing technically a tour with Wesley Docks, Segovia, and whatever local act that we can get. And every act that we've played with is amazing. They put the energy out there. They have the passion. They have the drive. And it's like looking at myself at 13 years old, and I'm like, you want to do something with this? Let's freaking go. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Keep firing it up.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes. And I like that, man. You got to pay it forward.
Of course.
That kind of mentality is gonna help you.
Oh yeah.
You know, because as you go, you don't want to step on anybody along the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No toes.
Yeah. And my favorite podcaster is a guy named Jamie Joster from Hatebreed. And his favorite saying, or what he says a lot, is high tide raises all ships.
Exactly.
You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
Let's
We're all in
come
this together.
Let's
That's
all
it.
come up, man, because
Building somebody else up doesn't tear you down.
It does.
It doesn't,
It
dude.
doesn't.
It
Not at
doesn't.
all. It feels fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It feels
It does.
fucking great. So let's talk about a dream tour. And I know we got the big one
Shit.
coming up in Wisconsin, but tell me 3 bands, Ryan, that you would love to be able to go on the road with.
Ooh.
Come on.
Definitely The Cure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see who else. I wish Joy Division was still around. I would say them.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
New Order's still around though.
Yeah,
May
New
catch
Order. There
them.
you go. New Order.
Yeah.
New Order. Let's see. One more band.
Come on.
What?
Come on, just say it.
I'm trying to think.
You know,
I'm a terrible,
I was hoping you were
I'm a
gonna say,
terrible
what
thinker,
am I
man.
thinking?
Sorry.
Give me the answer, right?
you know who you want to play with. You know who you want. It's on this wall somewhere. I think it's
Maybe.
I want to say Tame Impala. I like Tame Impala.
Tame Impala. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Tame Impala is really good.
Tame Impala, I've never heard that.
Oh my God.
That's
It's like
new
lo-fi.
indie. Yeah,
Really?
that's
Lo-fi
indie
rock.
stuff.
All right.
It's awesome.
His best album, arguably, is the one Current. It's called
Yes.
The
Current.
solo
Current.
artist?
And I
Yeah, he recorded everything himself. Obviously, hires musicians for the road, but
Yeah.
man, he
and you
Good.
said
Tears it up.
he hasn't done anything since that album, right?
No,
What's
I
the
haven't
last
seen him
name?
out.
Impala.
Impala, like the
Impala,
car. Yeah,
yeah.
Tame Impala.
Wow. Okay, good. Yeah, I like to hear a little bit of everything.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? That's why I enjoyed listening to y'all stuff, because it's not what I always hear. You know what I mean? Even the stuff that's on my favorite playlist is a lot of 70s and 80s stuff, and a
Cool.
lot of R&B.
Yeah.
Because that's what I grew up around in my mom's yellow Pinto as a kid. You know, so those songs stick with you. It is what it is. You know, and I'm gonna finish off with a segment here in a minute called "Draw the Line," where we start talking about some of our favorite bands and stuff like that. And part of what gets me to bring that up is because, you know, sometimes I'll compare Ozzy and Dio.
Oh,
And
Right.
these comparisons, like, who did you grow up listening to first?
Exactly.
Did you happen to grow up while Ozzy was up with them like I did?
Mhm.
Or were you already at an age where when you first heard him, Dio was already the man? You know what I mean? And from then on, you know, it kind of just takes you in a different direction.
Exactly.
So, you know, timing has a lot to do with it,
Of course.
right?
Of
So
course.
we got 3 bangers out of you. The big concert, right? Boom, boom, boom. All right. What would be those 3 bands for your dream tour?
No, it's not Metallica.
Oh, come on, man. Don't be scared.
If it was, it would definitely be 1986 Metallica for sure.
Wow, I like
Early
that. 1986
Yeah,
Metallica.
oh my
Dig
gosh,
it.
Oh,
the
yeah.
fire, the energy. Of course, you know, no exclusion to Jason, but Cliff.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh, Cliff.
Super fire right there. Yeah.
If it could be anything else, I would love to do a tour with Down.
Nice.
I absolutely love that Louisiana sound and the stoner doom metal rock.
Yeah.
Love Mastodon. Mastodon's a huge influence on me right now.
Yeah.
I'm really upset that, you know, they had to let Brent go, but, you know, the band must go on. And we're not going to get into that because nobody's talking about that yet. But.
Right. I know, right? I hadn't heard about that yet. I'm like, oh, shit, no more Brent. But I know Brent's always been a handful.
Yeah.
And, oh, shit. So, damn, but he's such a fucking beast.
Oh, my
How do
gosh.
they go on without Brent? Oh, shit. Right.
So if my first pick would be definitely Mastodon, for sure. As far as my second pick would go, oh man, there's so many good bands out there, and I listen to everything.
Right.
Honestly, Post Malone.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's a good one
Yeah.
right there.
And I
He leans
Yeah.
into rock quite a bit. He's
Yeah.
cool, man.
he
He's
did,
cool.
he did that thing for Saturday Night Live. Did the Nirvana cover. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
dude.
so badass.
I heard of that.
That's
I
so
already
cool.
did good.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, I need to look that up on YouTube.
It's awesome.
Third. Oh man, this is always the hardest. Pliny.
Who?
Pliny.
Pliny?
Yes. That's a more of a progressive gent band coming out.
Oh, okay.
They're really
He's from
cool.
Australia. I think that's his self-named band. His stage name or actual name is Polini. If I were to recommend any type of visual or song, they have a live recording of 3 songs. It's Electric Sunrise, Cascade, and I'll Tell You Someday. And it is like been stuck in my head for the past 3
No
years.
shit. Okay.
It's like a mine too.
Yeah.
You got you too.
I mean,
love
Sometimes
the
it'll,
instrumentals.
man, that's some special shit right there. That's good. All right, Alex,
yeah,
give me your 3. The
Well, he
Dream Tour.
mentioned some of the ones that
That's
I really
cool.
like, but
Give it to me.
there's others. Like for instance, I like the Smiths. What
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
the Queen is dead. That album, just let it play all the way through.
Right.
That's a
They
masterpiece.
play that on the entirety, right? That would be great.
That'd be amazing.
Yes.
Something a little bit more modern, but within the style, I think the Strokes.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh
You
yeah.
know, the early 2000s, what they brought it back a little
yeah,
bit.
they did. They sure did.
I like the Strokes.
Good choice.
And I also like around the same era, there's a lot of punk bands that also, of course, you got your Blink-182 and all of that, but you also got bands like Bowling for Soup.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Amazing.
Uh-huh.
Really good bands. I think I would really like to go on tour with them one day,
Yeah.
but we'll get there.
What's
Shout
the
out
song?
to Jigger.
Somebody, I'm in love with Janie's mom or something like that.
No, I know that they got
Stacy's mom. You got
Stacey's
1985.
1985.
Okay.
Oh,
The girl all the bad guys
yeah.
want. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Jared.
They got some great bangers.
Jared's the man. We'll see you on the
Yes.
road one day, man.
Hey, where are they from? Houston?
Dallas.
Dallas. I know they're
Dallas,
Texas
from
right
Dallas.
there. Yeah. Very likely. Very likely. Bowling for Soup. Hit up Dreamstereo. They're ready for some shows. Hell yeah. So what's going to be coming next? We got maybe another recording?
We actually have a single that's.
We actually have an instrumental. Yeah, we just
An
laid it-
instrumental?
Yeah,
Wow.
well, we right now
Uh-huh.
we laid down
Yes,
the tracks. It's a demo. I'm gonna work on the lyrics. Jay is gonna work on the cover art,
Okay.
and then mix, master, send it through, and come on,
Wow.
start. You know, recording it is
First
one.
instrumental?
Oh,
Well, it's an instrumental as it is right now.
Oh.
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
I
you-
gotta
you're gonna-
put
you
some
put-
words to it. But
Got you. All right.
another thing about new music people don't really talk about is great concept, amazing, exciting. Make sure you do it justice when you play it.
Yeah.
So just
Right.
as you record it, you also got to practice the shit out of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It needs to sound good live, you know. You gotta-
Yes. Fuck
so
yeah.
but it's exciting, you know. That's what we want to do, you know. That's the song, that's the expectation. Let's see what we
Yes.
can do.
It's going to be great. I
Yeah.
can't wait. Make sure I know when that's coming out. What about gigs? What's going to be any place within the next month?
In the next month,
We're going to
Uh,
Louisiana.
yeah, we're going to Louisiana on
next
Monday.
week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're going to
Damn,
be in
all right.
Baton Rouge, and then after that, who else do we have?
I know. Well,
Y'all just played the past couple weekends?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're actually just wrapping up our tour.
Yeah.
We were on a Texas run with
Mhm.
Wesley, like you mentioned, and Segovia. Amazing musicians.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We have the last date in Louisiana next week.
Mhm.
We're gonna probably sit back for a week or two and
Mhm.
maybe finish up, you know, all the visualizers, graphics, all the promo for the new song,
Yeah.
and then go back out there.
Okay.
You know, just you got to come back home and put in the work. Go show it off.
That's
you know,
right.
You know what I'm
Show it
saying?
off. Yes, yeah. Louisiana, that's a nice little ride.
Oh,
Yep.
But we're at the end of the day, I think any of us can agree. We're just counting the days for Rockfest, counting down the
yeah.
days
Oh,
for
yeah.
Rockfest. That's
see, we got
that's really where it's at, you know.
When's that going to be?
It's going to be in July on the 17th, I
Mhm.
believe.
Man, that's just right around the corner.
Mhm.
And actually,
Man,
last
it's
year
so fast.
he just missed it. That was right before he joined. But me and Ryan got to play in Dallas, the Wildflower Festival, and we opened up for
The Struts.
the Struts, Casey and
Whoa.
the Sunshine
AWOL
Band,
Nation.
AWOL Nation,
Damn.
guitar player Nile Rodgers.
No shit.
Legend.
Legend.
Worked with everybody. So we were
What a
around all of,
gig.
yeah,
There was
we
a
were
lot of
around
people
all
there.
of these guys, man. We
Yeah.
got very good feedback back from them. It was amazing. And that's really what made us up. That was our first big show. We've been playing a lot of bars, a lot of you just hustling. Then we got the opportunity to do that, and we were like, "Oh,
Fuck
I think
yeah.
we got something." You know,
Yeah.
I think we're
Doing
putting in
something
a
right.
lot of work,
Uh-huh.
and you know, we don't think nothing of ourselves or anything like that, but there is a difference.
Work pays off.
So
Hard work
at the end
pays
of the
off.
day, yeah,
Mhm.
that's what we want to do. We're
Mhm.
putting in the work because we want to get there.
That's right.
That's-
No shortcuts.
No,
No shortcuts
Can't.
on here. Nope.
no rock stars either.
Yeah, no shit.
rock
That's right.
stars.
The ego, you leave
No,
that
no
outside.
rock stars.
Just leave it out there. That's right. Fuck yeah.
Actually, the one thing that I did want to touch upon is
Yeah.
whenever I started hanging out with these guys, I think the second show that I went to in San Antonio, because that's where I was staying at the time, they were playing at the River Center.
Yeah.
And they had the boats going around them on that island. And then next thing I know, he's like, all right, so we're going to do some Metallica. And I was like, and he's like, and then that guy right there, he's going to come up and sing it. And I was like,
Well, that's
couldn't get to
actually-
that
yeah,
stage
that's-
fast enough.
That's how he's actually landed a gig. I knew that he played, and I knew he was badass dude,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that landed him. It was the fact that he didn't even know he was gonna be on the band. He was just supporting.
Yeah.
We would play in San Antonio, Austin, look in the crowd. There he was. Just present.
Like
So
I
I was
said,
like, hey,
I was on a hiatus.
I need a
didn't
guy
wanna
like
play
that.
at all. And then this guy comes up to me after a show at the Red Rabbit. And he's like, "You're a bad motherfucker." And I was like, "Who told you?" I didn't tell you.
Right.
I know he didn't tell you. You were just like, I can see it. And you want to do a couple of shows? Well, what do you mean? He's like, well, you want to sing a couple songs. What do you want to do? And I was like, well, I'm pretty good at singing Metallica. So.
Yeah.
What jam? What Metallica song y'all do?
Enter Sandman.
Nice.
Obviously the easiest one to do. Everybody reacts to that pretty easy.
Nah, don't sell yourself short though.
That's not easy.
The fact that he started doing Metallica, other bands heard about it.
Yeah.
And just a couple of weekends ago, we had the guys from Identity Crisis unexpectedly bring him up to do From the Bell Tolls. Like, hey.
Now when it comes to Metallica,
okay,
right?
so you're the guy
now.
You're the guy. You're the guy.
Well, you remember back in the day whenever John Talica was still around, right?
John Talica. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, you know. But I got with Ram. We got with Steve Flores. Shout out, Steve.
Shout out,
Ram.
Front to sleep.
And then
yes.
I can't remember who we had on bass.
Heavy Soul.
Yes, Heavy Soul.
So,
They were like, Brax, we know that you know how to sing this stuff. You can imitate James' voice really well. We did a couple of practices and it never really transferred into anything, but I always got my vocals ready.
Yeah.
Every now and then he'll let me get up on stage, play Creeping Death or whatever I can do at the time. And we'll get it done. And,
that's always such a blast, dude. People, if you just go play a few bars, man, like, whoa, I love that.
I get to rest my voice too.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Give me the
right.
bass, dude. Come on, you take it. You take
Wow, yes, that's a good idea.
Actually, we just started this dynamic in which, on an original song off the first album called "Waiting for You," he was like, "Man, I really think," because that's the most punk song that we have. It's just straight up distortion, kind of like the Ramones kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Dude, like, I get it, it's cool and all, but like that one song live sounds better because it hits harder." It's like, let me try some like, fried my vocal cords a little bit. Let's see what that sounds like.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you're gonna sing, then you might as well also take the guitar. And I know he likes Motley Crue. He's been playing some Nikki Sixx and stuff like. I was like,
what the?
Well, shit, let me hop on the drums and you play the bass. We totally changed the whole
full switch.
Full switch, dude. Full switch.
And we did that for the Excess show with Raw Layala Razkat Excess, and then the very next show with Identity Crisis. We had a blast.
Yeah.
And
no one does that.
Exactly.
You want to know who I learned it from? That guy.
Yeah. Right. Because he switched up. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was playing drums. Yeah. On the side band, Spastic Children.
Am I Evil and stuff like that.
Yes,
oh my gosh.
bro. That is fucking huge.
Yeah.
We just one day. What do you call us?
Stare Dreamio.
The Tres Leche.
Tres Leche.
Featured Dreamstereo cover band or some shit.
Wow, man.
I went out there acting like we were a cover band. Yeah, so we were playing this band that nobody really knows, but we're gonna go ahead and try it. It's our first cover. Let's do this. Turn it into a fun time.
It was cool.
We're not trying to be too serious all the time. We like to show our fun side, show that we are all musicians. We don't just stick to one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to showcase that he's not just a drummer and he's not just a guitar player and singer. And myself,
That's so huge, man.
It is what it is.
Do what you can with that when the time's right. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes, that's so fucking huge. Wow. Makes me want to do it. Like, can we switch? But I can only play drums. But that's cool.
That's all you need.
But it's like, hey, get the drummer on the vocals, I guess.
That's the hardest to find, dude, a drummer. So if you got it, come on.
Exactly, right? Yes. That's awesome, man. Oh, I can't wait to see that live myself.
Hell yeah, man.
Well, let's go to Draw the Line as we kind of wrap up our talk tonight, all right? So I've got some bands that I put together. I think bands that you guys might like, and kind of make it kind of tough to choose between these bands. Say they're playing in Victoria.
Right.
All right? They're never coming to Victoria. So if they're in town, who are you going to go if you got this or these guys to choose from, all right?
Okay.
So that's the example.
Okay.
So let's get things started out with this first pair of bands. And we'll start with you, Ryan.
Okay.
All right. Because these are two, when I think of these two bands, I think of the drummer. A Perfect Circle versus Tool. Who would you go see? Who do you prefer out of them two?
Tool.
Tool.
I'll go see Tool. Yeah.
Danny.
Yeah, dude.
Just got to. Just to say you did it at least once.
Oh, you
know?
got
Yeah.
you got to see it once. All the graphics and everything. That was one of my favorite backdrops right there, dude. That's the shit right there from Lateralist. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I wish I could buy one of those for everything they had, man, because all their artwork is so great. Your turn, Braxten. What do you think? Tool versus Perfect Circle.
Well, I like Maynard and A Perfect Circle. I think that there's a bunch of bangers in there, but the Opiate album from Tool, like Hush gets me so pumped. Like I'll go and I'll work out or something like that, and I'm just like, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's a Tool we never got again. That kind of energy they put on that first album, they just kept progressing. They were getting better at doing what they wanted to do.
There's something about the first album, man.
A Part of Me is the one that sets me off. The drums on A Part of Me are fucking badass. Yes. And they're like, hey, get that fucking hippie motherfucker out of here. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Yeah, so cool stuff like that in live recordings is unforgettable. Great choice right there.
Definitely Tool, it's got to be Opiate.
Okay,
Definitely.
Opiate. I like it. And what do you think? Perfect Circle versus Tool.
Man, I have to agree with this guy. So,
okay,
I need to hear the pot live.
Come
Come on, I have to at least once.
That's a jam.
At least
That's
once.
a jam. And luckily, that is one that it seems like they always keep in the set.
Yes,
because as their catalog has been getting longer and bigger, the songs are getting longer, and they're only going to play 2 hours. So you're only going to get maybe 10 songs.
Yeah,
maybe, you know?
And of course they're trying to fit in their new stuff, you know, of course, but
you got to set up, sell the new stuff too. But
yeah,
when I saw Tool, the first time I saw them was at Lollapalooza here, and
what year?
It was in. Let's see, I saw Lollapalooza in '92, and that was with Pearl Jam.
So he saw the good shit.
Ice Cube, the good shit. Soundgarden, good shit. That was the second one. So the one that came here, I want to say maybe it was the fourth one. Yeah. And it was with Prodigy, Korn, Tool. Korn canceled them. So Tool played double sets.
Really? Nice.
They played their set, and I'd never seen them before. And I was enlightened that day.
I bet.
Fuck yeah.
I bet.
And so it was an unreal experience. I was hooked for life. And then after that, with like Prodigy, with all the music and stuff so it was a hell of a day. Yeah. But Tool was the shit, and ever since then, Tool and Slayer are my favorite bands. Okay. Tool, that musicianship, the creativity, the mysteriousness. Yes. Not very many bands do that kind of stuff anymore, but they did it, and they finally just put their music out.
After 14 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then Slayer, because I like that metal, the evil part. I kind of like that shit. But okay. Tool all the way around. Yeah. Okay. We can't go wrong, but that's why I'm trying to make it a little difficult. How about these next ones? Smashing Pumpkins versus Alice in Chains.
Smashing Pumpkins for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Billy Corgan, what?
It's all good. What do you think, Brad?
That's such a hard one too, because I like both.
They got great catalogs,
I gotta go Lane. I love Alice in Chains. I actually did a cover of Dem Bones on my Braxten home studios. Minus the vocals. I just can't hit those notes like he can, and it hurts too much to try and sing like Lane. It's
cool.
It hits right there. You know what I mean?
Rest in peace, Lane. The shit. Dirt is such a classic.
Mr. Starr, the bass player. Remember? That was after Dirt, I think.
Well, on Dirt. Well, he was with them. I'm trying to think of his name. You had Mike stump in there when they came out with Jar of Flies.
Yeah.
But what was the first Killer, man? Because he laid it down hard. Now, he was an excellent low-end
frequency
technician right there. Yeah, dude, yes.
I remember my mom's.
I want to say his name's Mike, too.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Mike Starr, right?
Mike Starr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heavy.
My mom used to tell me the story about how he started getting an inflated ego, and he would start trying to talk to people like, hey dude, I'm from Alice in Chains, I'm the bass player, and they're like, who's Alice in Chains?
Yeah, and not everybody knew. Right? Yeah,
it took a little while, but God God rest his soul.
Yeah, God rest his soul. Much love right there. Alice in Chains love. So what do you think?
Out of those two, it's pretty easy for me. I love Alice in Chains.
Okay.
But out of those two.
Uh-huh.
But if you ask me about 90s grunge, to me, Pearl Jam.
Pearl
I'm a Pearl Jam kind of guy.
Right,
I'm a Pearl Jam kind of guy. Yeah.
You know, I think when you say Pearl Jam, I think of Better Man and how Eddie wrote that one himself.
Yeah.
You know, and so I can imagine you doing that same kind of magic, you know, and doing that all the time. It's what you do. But I'm a big Pearl Jam fan too. Love Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Give It a Fly is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Give It a Fly.
Off that
like,
Yield
wow.
album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like us, or it's like your kid going out there and fucking finally flying.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh, man, it was such a proud moment.
Yeah.
Nice.
How about? Oh, I threw an extra one in there. Okay, how about this one? Oasis versus Radiohead.
Oh,
Radiohead.
shit. Okay. Radiohead?
I've never even listened to Oasis. So
Oh, okay. Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's one of the biggest ones.
Right.
But they've got a lot of other ones that weren't so, you know.
But yeah, Radiohead for me.
Okay.
I like Radiohead.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Radiohead.
Radiohead.
I like
Yeah.
Oasis.
Oasis.
Yeah,
too.
I have to choose Oasis, yeah.
And
You know
Oasis
what?
is coming back, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Niall and-
There's
and-
footage of the brothers fighting backstage, but
Oh,
at least they're
man.
together.
That's what I think of is how they can't fucking get along, but how they got rich with each other and said, "Fuck it, we're gone now." You know, when you got us, we couldn't stand each other any longer, but now it's time to get paid again.
That's it. Gotta
It's
eat.
all good. You
Gotta
gotta
eat.
eat. It's all good.
It's like
Don't-
the guys from Sepultura, right? The Igor and Max.
They came back. Cavaleras. Yes. Hey, we want to see the brothers back.
Oh my
We got to
gosh.
see the brothers back. And Igor hasn't lost a fucking beat, man.
Oh,
He's so
man.
fucking badass.
He's so
Oh,
tuned in.
Nice.
love it.
Nice.
Okay, how about Depeche Mode versus The Cure?
Ah.
The great bands right there. Yes, catalogs. Oh,
All right.
shit.
Depeche Mode.
Depeche Mode, Personal Jesus. That's a
I
banger
know.
right there.
I love that song.
You got done by several different artists. Pretty badass. It's a good one. What do you think?
My mom would kill me if I didn't say Depeche Mode.
All right. Love, yeah, okay. Hey, a lot of great jams right there, and they're still at it.
Yes,
They're
they are.
still at it.
The
What do
Cure.
you think? The Cure.
I love the Pitch Mode, but to me, The Cure is just
Yeah.
they're it. They're the sound. You know,
Awesome.
that's just what's
Yes.
that album? Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss
Oh, yeah.
Pornography, like
Mhm.
all of those albums. That's just
Ooh, such great music. Such great
stamps,
hits. Yeah.
80 stamps.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Big time. Big time. Okay. U2 versus the Police.
Oh. Oh.
The Police.
The Police. Yeah. Stuart Copeland on drums.
Yeah.
What a
I
love
bad
Stuart Copeland,
motherfucker.
dude.
Yeah. But for three guys,
Walk
man.
all over the place and his shit, and then go back to the kid, and then go back to his shit again.
Oh, man.
Like, yeah, dude.
Great stuff. I saw Sting last year
Really?
with Billy Joel over at the Alamo Dome.
Dang.
Oh, that was great shit. Oh, and he had a 3-piece band. They killed it just like the Police.
Is it a guitar player? Andy Summers? Is it Andy
Yeah, the
Summers?
original. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
for the
original.
Police. Yeah. Ooh, awesome.
Mhm.
I hear some Andy Summers in you. Definitely. What do you think, Brent? Braxton, bring it on.
Man, I like the Police so much, but I also like U2.
Man, they're so strong, you two.
Yeah, U2 was definitely a stamp. I mean, I heard Message in a Bottle before I ever heard, Sunday, Blended Sunday, but I feel like U2 has a lot more bangers. Of course, props to the Police, but I mean, U2 it has defined themselves as one of the premier rock bands and at the last of the pioneer days, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? For
For sure.
running the front the way that they did and the music that they're coming out with or did come out with, it's quite more influential on my part at least
Yeah.
because of the way that they use their tones, and that's why I got drawn to him, because you listen to Closer and I'm like, oh, that's U2 all day. It blew my mind whenever I really
Right.
started listening to his music, because you hear both of those influences in his music.
Yeah.
And so U2 respectively, love the Police, but that's my answer.
Much love. You too. What do you think, Alex? Yeah,
I
right.
think songwriting wise, I prefer the Police. But see,
Okay.
the thing about the Police for me personally is like, I like listening to the stuff that I can't even name. I like the early stuff. Of course, the radio
It's
stuff.
more
is,
reggae-ish.
yeah, the radio stuff is cool and all. I like it. But if you play the first album or the second album, to me, that's the real influence on the style.
Yeah.
You know, but of course, then you got the Edge with the delays and with this being so precise with everything he does that I took from both, but more so I have to stick with the Police. It's just, you know, I identify with them because we're also just a three-piece, you know, gotta make it work and make it sound big and fat with just three guys.
Yes.
So it's just, it's a lot of engineering behind the scenes. It's a
Oh,
lot
yes.
of the tones, you know, all that. So I have to stick with the Police on this one.
Excellent answer. I love that. All right, and I got. Okay, I'll stick in. You got time for? I got one more, but I.
Come on, two. Bring
Okay,
it
great.
two. Bring it
As many
two.
as you want.
Okay, cool. How about Muse versus 311?
Oh.
And I know 311 is not that three-piece like Muse is, but what I liked about 311 is that he's got some tones that are very similar to what I love about 311.
Amber.
Yes. Oh, one of my favorites. That's a bad one. What do you think?
311.
311.
Yeah.
The drummer, man, he's fucking badass, dude.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things I love about that band. But everybody's they bring a lot.
Yeah.
Each one of the guys. Peanut on bass and both the vocalists. I saw them last time they were here at the Pavilion.
Oh, nice.
Incredible.
Nice.
Like, oh, what a great show. Usually when we go, me and my wife Lori go to shows, it's Sepultura, Lamb of God.
Yeah.
So to take her to see like 311, she's like, finally, there's somebody I like. You know, yeah. So it was good to finally have a great show like that come around and
That's
that we
cool,
both
man.
like, you know.
Yeah.
Just like Sting and Billy Joel, and we love that old cool stuff
Yeah.
that our parents kind of played around us. But yes, 311. What do you think?
Well, as far as hearing both of them, I actually heard them both on Guitar Hero 4. And
Oh, cool.
That was what?
Props to Guitar Hero. I love that video games brought
2004.
the fucking music to the
Tony Hawk.
yeah, Tony Hawk.
influential.
Yes,
Oh
I
my
always
gosh.
hear a lot of Tony Hawk love. Yes.
You wouldn't believe how many people were just like, oh, I discovered Metallica through Guitar Hero 3. I was just like,
dude.
What?
What? Well, however it happened, that's good.
well, I'm definitely going to go with 311 because
Okay.
Beautiful Disaster is that first.
Oh yeah.
I was like, ooh, okay, I see what you're doing there.
It's a good one. Yes. I love that one. And what do you think? Alex, give it to us.
I've been thinking.
Wow.
I
Take
see
a little
my-
bit longer.
I see Muse live, and wow, that's a
I
big
was gonna
production right
say,
there. Those
I
three guys
definitely
go down.
as far as my tone and my guitar playing is 311 driven, of course. But there's something about Muse that they're in their own category.
Oh,
They don't
yeah.
really fit like it.
Yeah.
To me, that's the appeal that they have. They're so unique. So I have to go with. I gotta give it to those
Gotta
guys
give
for
them
that.
props. Huge.
Yeah, they're just man, dude. I've never seen them live, but I'm assuming that live is even like, damn. Okay.
Yeah. He sings his ass off. The drummer kicks ass. The bass player, he's got that one bass comes out. It's just a box. It's like,
Yeah.
where he plays for Madness. Yeah, like whoa, big energy.
Underrated, I'd say.
Yes.
I think so.
I don't hear that name
They're the
around as
band for
much
the
as
90s.
Yeah.
That I didn't hear back to the 2000s, and I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, these guys got a great catalog.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they just, I don't know. I guess they played the Olympics,
Yeah.
and that kind of really opened the doors for them.
Yeah.
And then, I guess, I'm trying to think of the name of that album that Resistance came up. Resistance Uprising was the banger that they played off of that. But definitely a great band to see.
Yeah.
Got to give Muse props. Okay, so I got one more. And since we're all Tool fans, this one is Tool versus Pink Floyd.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay.
Ooh.
I don't think there could have been a Tool without a Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
because they see things they think of things kind of in their own particular way with concepts. And you're not just writing a song about a girlfriend or sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Right.
That never came out. There's
Mhm.
always something a little deeper
Exactly.
And that wall was just incredible. Being able to put something together in Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh my gosh.
And the catalog Animals, you know, you take it back to the older stuff, and the same thing with Tool and their progression and their catalog. It's a hell of a comparison. But what do you think? Because I kind of feel Tool's at the modern day Pink Floyd. You know, they grew up listening to them. They're like, oh yeah. They may not give them they don't have to buy them a sandwich and say, hey, you know, if it wasn't for you guys, but we definitely know where they're coming from.
For sure.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you think, Ryan?
This is so hard.
Yeah, that is.
Tool's playing
Pink Floyd.
Victoria.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd's playing Victoria. Like,
Pink
fuck,
Floyd.
the same night. Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Great. With the original lineup, right? I had to
Yeah.
give it to original lineup, the Pink Floyd lineup, that wall lineup with Roger in the band still.
Roger, man.
What do you think?
Well, I remember trying to induce one of those acid trips by watching the what is it?
Pink Floyd, Wizard of Oz.
Dark Side of the Moon. You started off with the Wizard of Oz, and it flows in such an odd way that it's just mind trip inducing. And you know, me being a psychonaut myself, you know, it helps, you know, pave the way. And whenever you listen to Roger Waters' freaking guitar and how he's playing, it's just, oh my gosh, dude. Like, I wish that I could live there in that freaking album just for the rest of my life. So definitely Pink Floyd for sure, because, you know, props to Tool, you know, it's great, but they definitely got their sound from those guys.
Yeah, I can dig it. Alex, what do you think about it?
I gotta go with Tool.
Okay.
Because to me, it's kind of like how the Beatles started the movement in England in the 50s and 60s, and the new wave and all these other rock and roll came from. That's what I feel Pink Floyd did, and all the credit to them for having the initiative to start that.
Being so influential.
But to me, Tool grabbed it and kind of elevated it a little bit. So I'm like, okay. Thanks to those guys, because obviously it was a chain.
Yeah.
But they also is equally as important to grab something and innovate it. Otherwise, it just stays there. Right. So starting it is important, but also making, you know, keeping it alive and, you know, evolving it into something else. To me, that's masterminds.
It is.
Both of them, but I prefer Tool.
You know, when he mentions that and how a band kind of evolves, it makes me think of another band that is in their own kind of thing, because I've been singing their ass all the time now. AC/DC.
Oh,
they haven't changed the formula.
No.
You know what I mean?
Banger after banger after banger.
For some, it's a satisfaction of that's who we are. That's what we do right. And the thing about Tool, it's like, this is who we are. This is what we do right.
Oh, yeah.
And so everybody's got their own thing, just like you guys are doing your thing. My original band. So, you know, you really, only as artists can you really appreciate that creativity that comes, that has come together within these guys to be able to put some music out like that.
Absolutely.
It stands the test of time.
Now, whenever I came in here, you said I would be conducting the interview. So I got one question for you.
You got a question for me? Okay. Yeah.
If you had a choice, Killamora or War Cult?
Oh, that's a good question. Killamora or War Cult? You know, I don't want to take any credit away from any of my guys in War Cult, but I gotta say, for the sake of being nostalgic and missing my brothers in Killamora and Fidel, my drummer for 20 years, because he played with me in Integrity for 10 before that. So playing with a drummer for 20 years that you just have great chemistry with.
Oh yeah.
It has to be Killamora, and I can't take nothing away from War Cult, but it's a camaraderie. It's a camaraderie that you guys have been able to. You guys got it. We had it in Killamora. That's why we were able to get as many shows that we did.
Awesome.
You do the work.
What I always like to ask this to the people that take the time of the day to listen to our music. Which, thank you, by the way.
Yes,
my pleasure.
What are your thoughts musically, but also lyrically, just on Dreamstereo? Like when you listen to it and you read what do you get out of it? Because I get that we fit a specific style, you know, new wave and all that, but personally, how does it hit you?
Yeah.
First impression, I guess.
First impression, it makes me chill. You know what I mean? Because I don't need to be going 1,000 miles. Like I said, when I listen to metal, or when I play my bands, that's not what I listen to when I leave.
Right.
And an example is, I've only said this on the podcast once, but I'll say it again.
Ooh.
And when I leave a show, and it's a good show, I listen to a band called Spandau Ballet.
Oh,
They
really?
used to play a song called True. And it puts me in such a good place, and it makes me feel like I did something right that day.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
So
Fuck yeah.
it's something. It has nothing to do with any kind of heaviness or anything, but that song, it gets me.
Yeah.
And I get it, and I know every fucking word for it. And I'd love to sing in karaoke if in some bar and shit like that.
Yeah.
And because I have a song like that, that's how I have an appreciation for what you guys do. Because it's in that same kind of vein, somewhat. And I need that. I need that in my life too. You know what I mean? So that's what I like about different standout songs like Walk Alone, Fever Dream, and like Spanish Coal. They're their own different thing, but they also bring the Dreamstereo magic.
Absolutely.
You know? And your vocals they're entrancing. Exactly. They stick with me, dude. And there's some songs where you're really hitting some high notes on there. But for the most part, you have a nice comfort zone where it's still a great range. And there's still so much going on, dude, that it's such a joy to listen to.
Thanks, man.
And the bass lines that you guys were able to put together for those first 2 albums, man, is a great foundation for the guys just to rock, man. You got such good music on there. And that's why, when you get Braxten in there, that's got the background of having that high energy, man, it really just translates, man, because it just, that's why I liked it. That's why we're showing up at the shows. Because he was like, you know what, something about these guys, I dig them. I like them. I'm going to get off my ass and we're going tonight. And before you know it, you're like, hey, dude, come sing some songs.
Yes.
That's some real fucking magic, and then you doing your homework. That's the shit, man. That's the shit. Much respect right there. And much respect, Alex, for getting this out of the garage, off the iPad, and making it a reality, bro.
Yes.
Now you're going to be sharing it in Wisconsin at Rockfest.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's great. And that just, that's just this year.
Yeah.
Keep working. Something else is going to be coming up, Rockfest in July. We got a lot of year left.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And so the grind you guys have done with Jay and the band now, helping out too. And I know you can't see her, but we'll get her in here right towards the end and say hi. It's going to help take the band to another level. And you need her.
Absolutely.
You need her because you don't want to do that work. You don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? You need someone that can enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then it's going to be that fourth member of the band.
Absolutely.
Just like as if you were to take a sound guy with you on the road. That would be like your fifth guy.
Yeah. Equally as important.
Absolutely. Because you got to sound great.
Team, man. We need it.
And with
the dream team.
Exactly.
Dream team.
It is the fucking dream team, right? But
For real.
I got to hand it to you, especially Alex. You got these guys, now within the last year. But you've made it happen, bro.
Thanks,
These 2 albums, I really have to give you so much credit for being such a great musician and artist and putting it together.
Well, likewise, dude. Thank you. You know the road.
I know the road. That's how I can appreciate it. Like, wow, man, talk about really, doing what it takes to make the dream come alive.
Absolutely.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah. All these sounds in the head, getting them out.
Yeah,
get them out.
bro. Gotta get them out. Record them, keep them there, write them down, get them out one way or another.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna wrap things up right there. It's been nothing but a great time tonight, man.
Yeah,
Great time.
Yeah.
Get to know about your formation, your histories, the things that kind of got you inspired. A lot of the bands that we grew up listening to, and why we might like why we prefer Tool more than Perfect Circle, and why Pink Floyd, is that kind of special band. But Tool was able to propel them to that next level.
Absolutely.
So just an example of our love for music and the things that kind of drive us.
Absolutely.
And of course, thanks for having us and giving us the opportunity to come on here. And I always love chatting with my boys.
Oh, always, man.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate, Braxten must hit me up. It must have been several months ago when he just got the gig with you guys. And just keep the door open saying, hey, got this band, check us out. Let us know if we can get on the show. All right, dude, I'll see what I can do. I'm not that organized And a lot of the times around Christmas time,
It gets
that's when I
hectic.
do the Christmas show.
Yeah.
And so for like 4 weeks, it's just like I'm juggling, you know, a band of like 15 to 20 people.
Oh yeah.
So thanks for your patience. Thanks for your patience, because I heard the talent already before, but sometimes it takes a little while for me to schedule something and make it all happen and come to reality.
Yeah.
But thanks for making it happen. Thank you,
man.
man.
Nonetheless, we always appreciate it. Always.
And you know what? We'll do
Anytime.
this again.
Absolutely.
All right,
We got to get you on stage.
Yes.
Oh wow!
What,
It doesn't
which
matter.
Metallica song you want
Choose,
to play?
choose whatever song or a Dream Stereo song.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And
a
choose
Dream Stereo
whatever
song.
instrument you want to play or sing.
Yeah,
I
the
probably
vocal
might-
chords.
Yeah,
And come on out.
that'd be great.
I'll
dude.
give you the
Thank
mic, man.
Alex.
I'll give you the mic. Come on. Let's do
my
it.
God, dude.
Let's run
let,
it.
me, let me pick the jam. Let me pick
Cool.
the jam. I'm gonna take you up on that.
Yes.
Ask my wife.
Yes.
She goes crazy because if I go see Cat House or another cover band, she goes, "Don't go up there and sing." And I said, "Come on, I want to sing. If they ask me, I'm
Come
gonna
on.
sing."
Come on, man.
Yes, so thank you.
Let's
Thank
do
you.
it. Let's
Excellent.
run it.
And
Let's run it.
it'd be an honor. It'd
Hey,
be an
man.
honor, all right?
Likewise.
So
Likewise.
let me take care of that. I'll find out when you guys are playing and make sure I can be there. And
Yeah,
we're
man.
gonna make it happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Sounds
Awesome.
great, man. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Alex.
much for having us.
My pleasure. Guys, make sure you're checking out Dream Stereo on their YouTube channel. Go to their Facebook, go to their Instagram. Make sure you give them a follow and give them a like.
And
So that-
always check out dreamstereo.com.
Dreamstereo.com. That's right. Make sure you get on that. And I want to see who is in here real quick before we sign out.
We've been missing some people over
I
here.
know I've been seeing this thing go off.
We're
So-
sorry.
I know we got into our own chat over here, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. I see Tony giving some love to the Edge. We've got, man, I need to get my glasses fixed. Elisa Vasquez, love Elisa. Damn, that's, you're gonna have to help me out here.
I can't even see that.
I know, right? But
We're all gonna need prescription glasses.
oh, they're talking about police. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
they
a
were
police.
listening.
We had
They
some
were
police
listening.
fans. Yes, big time. Wow, we had a lot of people listening there. Thank you, love, and thank you, Matt Cantu. What's up, Matt?
Hey,
What up, man?
Hell yeah. Let's see who else we got in here. Thank you, Tony, for hanging out. I think I might have been able to give everybody some love already. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining the show tonight. Thanks a lot. Yeah, we got some 311 love coming in right there.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tool love. Yes. Bro has always been very talented. I want to see what that says right there. Does that say Phil? I know for the band, very proud of him, and knows what matters. It would also be, I love you. I love you, buddy. It sounds like it might be a big fan of yours, man. Love, Elisa Jasquez.
Hey.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, exactly.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, hell yeah. And Matt, real quick, Alex, much love, brother. I known him from the start. You would kick ass with this. Keep trucking, brother. Much love, Matt, and keep jamming with Pulse Demon. All right, hell yes,
Amazing, man.
guys.
And of course, just like you supported us on this channel, stick around for him because he's an amazing host. We've been able
Yes.
to do quite a bit of interviews. This one felt like home. I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate you, man. Thank you so
Oh.
much. This was amazing. Follow and stick around for him. He's
Click that
amazing.
subscribe button.
Hell
Hit the
yeah.
bell.
I love it.
Come
I
on.
love it. Hell yes. Ryan, thank you. Braxton, thank you so much. And Alex, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Dream Stereo in the house. Until next time, we're out. Y'all take care and we'll see you at the next show.